Hi everyone, and welcome to our series on demystifying the world of wine. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking commonly used words from the world of wine and actually explaining what they mean. So let's get started. The first topic we're going to look at is wine faults. This is probably one of the most complicated and misunderstood areas of the wine world. So much can happen to that bottle of wine from leaving the winery to arriving on your table. And what we're now going to do is look at the most common faults out there, talk about them and understand how we can detect them and what we can then do about it. So let's look at the first one. Right, first up, we're talking about corked wine. What is corked wine? Well, I'll tell you what it isn't. It isn't little bits of cork floating in a glass. That's just unfortunate. But the best way to deal with that, through a tea strainer. What corked wine is a small bacteria that lives in the cork that attacks the wine in bottle. What's the result? A wine that doesn't necessarily taste or smell great. Vitally important that we smell our wine before we taste it, because that's how we detect it. If you've ever left a cardboard box outside in the wet and you get that musty, dank smell of it, that's what you're looking for with corked wine. Also, if you have a dog, think about taking a dog on a long walk in the mud. Smell your dog afterwards. It's not very nice. That's, again, what you're looking for. A musty, dank smell. What can you do if you find corked wine? Not a great deal. If you're in a restaurant, hand it back to the server. If you bought it from a wine shop, take it back. We can do something with it. You guys just need to give it back to us. Next up, we're looking at oxidation. Wine needs oxygen to age, but too much oxidation leads to a wine that becomes sherry-like, vinegar, and disgusting to drink. This can happen by a number of reasons. If you have a bottle of wine in a place where the temperature fluctuates up and down too much, the cork expands and contracts and lets oxygen in. Not good at all. So, what to do if your wine is oxidized? Again, not a great deal. The best thing you can do, put it by the stove and cook with it. Makes a mean casserole. So, third up, we're looking at reduction. Now this is actually the opposite of oxidation and one of the few wine faults we can do something about. Reduction is when not enough oxygen gets into the wine and results in aromas coming through of struck match, which can be quite pleasant, to rotten eggs at the far end, which of course are not pleasant. However, if we find those faults in a bottle, the thing to do is decant it. Half an hour in decanter allows that wine to contact the oxygen that's been lacking, that's been missing. That then burns off these smells, allows the wine to develop, and within half an hour, you should have a wine which shows fruit, is luscious, and is great to drink. Brettanomyces, or Brett as we like to shorten it to, is a spoilage yeast that splits opinion. What is a spoilage yeast? It's a yeast that, quite simply, spoils your wine by stripping out a lot of the luscious fruit flavours, dulling it. However, what it does do is it adds layers of complexity. These layers can include some medicinal notes. They can include farmyardy notes, which are very famous in the Pinot Noirs of Burgundy. And as I said, to some people, this adds another level of flavour, which is desirable. However, if you're looking at a really young fruity wine, Brett is the last thing you want. So what can we do if we find Brett in our wines? Not a great deal. The likelihood is these wines have been made that way. So go back to your shop, make them aware those wines are not to your liking, and make a note yourself not to buy them again in the future.